Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday. Today, the second part of the two-part Sobrevivencia Q&A. And this one is entitled, This Sobrevivencia Principle Beats Bigger, Stronger, Younger, Faster. Before we do that, hey, if you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so you don't miss any future content, and avail yourself. You have two free resources, the most important one being the no-cost Cane Clarity Call. Text the letter CCC to 305-745-7839 in less than 24 hours. We will be on a conversation with you, on a phone call with you, learning, well, why is it that you're watching this? How did you get here? What is it that interests you about the cane self-protection? How do you get cane trained wherever you are in the world? That's what we do here. And you'll walk out of there much more educated, have all your questions answered so that you get it right from the onset. Believe me, it's going to save you time, funds, and frustration. And then do this. Look at the description. You have an invite to the Facebook group called Cane Flow. Just request entry there. We'll let you right in because we have an assortment of topics in there, and that's going to continue to deliver more in terms of content that may very well be of interest to you. Now, listen, we're going back now to the June CSDU, Cane Self-Defense University, the monthly session that we had there. We featured Maestro Ruiz. And last week we covered, what does he mean? And I should just entitle this, what does he really mean by that, right? Hey, what should we practice? You know, what should we focus on to prepare for this Fall Cane Immersion 22, where he's doing the level 1 certification? And his answer was, yeah, work on your walking. And everybody said, what? And that, go back to that and you'll understand what he means by that. And that's my job, is to translate all of this. And then there was another question, and that was, is there anything that we should bring in terms of tools and stuff? And he says, yes, bring your mind. I'm going to show you how to empty your mind. Later on, for some, that translated into empty your cup, which in English means something else. And sometimes the translation from Spanish to English, you lose some of that. So let me explain what he means, and then I'll show you, we'll use an example of that principle. But boy, it's the principle that really creates leverage and makes Sobrevivencia so effective. And that is what he's referring to when he says empty your mind, is to not just focus whenever we have a problem. Remember, Sobrevivencia, Maestro Ruiz himself has says, well, it's not a martial art, it's not a philosophy of life, it's not a method, it's not a system, but it's all those things at the same time. That's the way he speaks, right? It parallels, there's things that you can use in your everyday living. And so this one, we're going to use it just on a functional basis. It's not to be paralyzed here just with the problem that's in front of you, but empty your mind so that you see the full inventory of possibilities so that you can respond appropriately in a manner that's going to restore harmony while doing the minimum damage possible, right? And for all involved here. And so I want you to do this. I want you to go into that Cane Flow group, and you're going to see an example of that at a gas station where an individual gets assaulted by 3, and he himself said, hey, vacía tu mente means empty your mind. Let me show you what I mean, just on a practical basis. We're going to use this. One of the greatest concerns our caners have is for a bigger, stronger, faster individual to put their hands on that cane and just take this away from you. And then they have the tool. I've said it so many times before. It's vital where you get your training from, because if you go to do something with this individual that is ineffective, they respond and they do this, you just open their eyes to what you're really trying to do with that cane. They're going to use that cane against you. That's how you get victimized. Assuming that is the case here now, and you go and he's bigger, boy, this is how many times has Maestro Ruiz not pointed out that this is not a fight you're going to win a lot of the times. And so let me show you what some of the possibilities here are. Many times he says if he wants it, let him have it. But of course it's let him have it so that then he can really have it. And one example of that is if he does end up with it, well, can you move on with an empty hand skill set to the next possibility? That's one possibility. Another possibility is he pulls up here. Well, I don't have everything, the full, but if my mind doesn't stop there and I bring it across the body, can I tap, tap, tap? Because now you're using it as the impact tool, right? And now you're going right over the clavicle and so on and so forth. You can use it to strangulate. That's why you need an empty hand skill set, by the way. Sobrevivencia is the only other cane system that we know of that, just like ACSD, is cane empty hand. That's the way he did it from the onset, where the cane teaches the empty hand. One of the original foundational pioneering systems is a complementary system to an empty hand system, but there's a difference, right? This is the cane teaches the empty hand, and SV is like that as well. That's one possibility, right? You might have to give it to him here, and then you might have to close this gap, right, and go empty hand. That's a possibility. What about the idea that, hey, you're here as well, you're doing something to distract here, but you have a secondary tool, right, and you quickly deploy that. Now, this is one of Bram's tools. This is why I love them so much, right? Yep, it's designed to open this way, but what if I don't want to take it, to that level, and I can use this as an impact tool. I can use the ramp. You see she's already moving. This is something you just reach out, like Bram says, and you touch someone. Bram, by the way, will be a presenter on Tuesday evening at Fall Cane Immersion, and you're going to come in here, right, and use that, and you have options as to how you're going to do that. Now, I'm not here to tell you that, whether your life is in danger or not, you have to make that decision there, right? Same deal of, well, what about the concept that when you're here, they pull and you assist in that pull, right? So when she pulls, you push, create that distance, draw a firearm, right? And dun, 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 right? Give some very specific, and now it's escalating because you're having to draw. And I'm not telling you which one to do. What I'm telling you is that is the concept of emptying your mind and not getting caught. Yes, it's a quote unquote. Notice that we refer to it as the art of survival. The art of survival, right? Yes, it's a cane art, but you're not stuck here. What if that cane, is in the car and you couldn't get to it, and you can't afford to do this and take your art? You have to deal with this situation here. If you're so focused and over reliance on any tool, including this tool, the cane right here, is dangerous, because you're not seeing the realm of possibilities that are available to you. And I want you to think about your personal life. How many times does a problem not come up and you're just stuck there? You're being reactive to it rather than stepping back, looking at all the possibility. And you need to be able to do that in a flow. You can't afford, your mind can't afford to stop there. Just take a look, those of you that like mixed martial arts, and when this whole concept of UFC came to be, well, grapplers and that Brazilian jiu-jitsu system in particular, taking individuals to the floor. Well, these guys were, you may have been fast, a fast strike, you're very good on your feet, but when you get taken out of that element, taken to the floor, that's not what you're trained to. What happens to your mind? Your mind has to stop for a second, because it has to process this, and now what do I do? This is unfamiliar territory for me, right? SV says, hey, well, SV not, I know, I guess it could be used in competition, but there's no rules there. It is truly for survival, and unique in the sense that it was tested under duress. So I hope that brings clarity to that concept of emptying your mind, which is not empty your cup. It's not a state of no mind or a meditative state that implies passivity, just the total opposite. And one confirmed right now, as of this segment, we have one opening out of the additional 5 that Maestro Ruiz agreed to. We have one opening remaining, so if that's for you, just go ahead and give us a call at this point, 800-289-8188. If you've never been down here to an immersion, it's going to take a conversation just to make sure that it's a good fit for you, answer all your questions regarding that, and head on over to that Cane Flow group on Facebook. That request entry, they'll let you right in so that you can see this, that he shared that says, that shows this assault with a van at the gas station and what a response to that is. Okay, so, and again, we're here for you. Have any questions, do that Cane Clarity call. Text the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense and Sobrevivencia. Thanks for watching. Keep caning and clear your mind. Vacía tu mente.